What happens when a black woman walks into a bank to open a charity account and gets treated like a criminal instead? 3 months later, she walks back in, but not to make a deposit. It was one of those calm southern mornings, the kind that lies to you, sun shining, breeze gentle, and the lie was, maybe today will be fair. Aisha Harper, 33 years old, black, brilliant, and mother of 2, stepped out of her car in front of the First Central Bank on Jefferson Ave in Atlanta, dressed in a clean navy blue dress, her locks neatly braided and pulled back. She carried a leather folder, worn on the edges, but organized like a tax auditor's dream. Inside, every single document needed to open a nonprofit savings account. She wasn't just opening any account, she was building a legacy. The Ruth Harper Educational Fund, named after her late grandmother, was created to help low-income black students get to college without drowning in debt. Her grandma used to say, "We may not have had money, but we always had mind." So here she was, on a mission. She walked in, the air cold, the atmosphere colder, straight to the front counter. "Good morning," she said with a calm smile. "I'd like to open a savings account for a nonprofit and get some info on investment programs." The young teller, Diego, polite and professional, checked her paperwork, nodded. "Looks good. Have a seat, ma'am. I'll get it started." She sat, smoothed her dress, waited. Then came the shift. Gerard Wallace, branch manager, white man in his 50s, pressed suit, ice in his eyes, walked in like he'd built the damn building himself. He zeroed in on Diego and asked, without even glancing at Aisha, "What's going on?" Diego still calm. "No problem, sir. Miss Harper's opening a nonprofit account." Gerard turned, looked at Aisha like she'd just tried to rob the place with a smile. "A what?" His tone, drenched in that subtle kind of disrespect folks like him think sounds professional. "We'll need to verify all of this. You can wait outside while we check it. Also, bring proof of income if you want to move forward." Aisha blinked, slowly. "I have the EIN, nonprofit registration, letters from the city, even a grant approval." "I said later," he snapped. "We're not here to entertain questionable setups. There are rules." Questionable setups. A woman trying to help black kids get an education is suddenly questionable. And everybody in the room? Silent. Eyes flicked toward her, then back to their phones. Aisha stood there, folder clutched to her chest, her jaw locked, her dignity in her throat. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't curse. She didn't even cry. Not yet. She just walked out, head high. But something in her chest cracked. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a message. We see what you're trying to do, and we don't like it. That night, I sat on the couch with my legs tucked under me, still wearing that damn dress. You know that feeling, when something humiliates you so deep, even your clothes feel stained with it? My youngest, Jaden, all of 6 years old, climbed up beside me and rested his head on my shoulder, his little arms wrapped around my waist, like he could feel something wasn't right, even if he didn't have the words for it. "Mama," he whispered, "why you sad?" And Lord, I felt my throat close up, but I smiled for him, that fake kind of smile black women master by the time we're 16. Just, sometimes the world ain't fair, baby. He nodded like he understood, then reached into his pocket and handed me a folded-up gum wrapper like it was a gift from the heavens. And you know what? In that moment, it was. LaTanya, my older sister, had been sitting at the kitchen table the whole time, still in her work blazer, laptop open, sipping on tea she never finished. "You need to report that fool," she said, no hesitation. That wasn't just rude. That was illegal, discriminatory, hell, humiliating. Write it up. We'll send it to corporate and every watchdog that'll listen. Now, my sister's a lawyer. She don't play. And when she gets that fire in her eyes, you listen. So we wrote the damn thing. Every detail. From the minute I walked in to the moment I walked out that bank like a ghost. Folder tight to my chest, like it could protect me from being erased. Next morning, I posted it online. Not for sympathy. Not for revenge. But because the truth has a way of cutting through silence. I told the story exactly as it happened. No fluff. No exaggeration. Just what it feels like to be treated like you don't belong, when all you're trying to do is give back. And baby, it spread like a brush fire in July. By evening, 15,000 shares. People I'd never met tagging me, commenting things like, "Same thing happened to my mom. I tried to open a business account and got asked if I was laundering money. I see you, sis. Keep speaking." And then, 2 days later, the bank responded. Not a call, not an apology, not a single human voice. Just a cold-ass email. No greeting, no name, just, "We've reviewed your claim. All staff actions followed standard procedure." I read it 3 times just to be sure. That was it. That was their whole response. They didn't even pretend to care. That was the moment something shifted in me. Because, see, they thought this was over. They thought I'd cry a little, post a little, and move on. Nah, they had the wrong black woman. I called up some folks I knew in business circles, quietly, carefully. See, what Gerard and his kind never realized is my grandmother left me more than just memories. She left me seed money. And over the years, I had grown it. Real estate, tech investments, community ventures. Oh, and that student fund I built? A national education foundation had signed on as a partner last spring, but I hadn't said a word yet, not until now. That same week, I got in touch with my financial advisor, then 2 more. Then a group of impact investors who've been waiting for a moment like this. I didn't tell nobody online, didn't drop hints, didn't grandstand. What I did? I walked into another branch of that same bank, 20 minutes across town, and opened the very account Gerard told me I wasn't worthy of. Then I opened another under my LLC, then another in another city. And while I did that, the numbers on that post kept climbing. A week in, 500,000 views. 2 weeks in, 1.8 million. Podcasts, morning shows. "Can we interview you, Miss Harper?" But I stayed quiet because this wasn't about being seen anymore. It was about making moves. 2 months later, we went to corporate with a serious acquisition offer, strategic and targeted. Our group wanted full purchase rights to 3 underperforming branches, including the Jefferson Ave location. Yeah, that one. And just when the offer was being reviewed, I got a message from a man named Malik Jackson. I remembered his name. He used to work at that same branch. Young, clean-cut brother in finance. Always polite, always professional. He'd been fired 6 months prior. Unprofessional behavior, they called it. But the truth? He filed a complaint about racist jokes being passed around the break room like mints. They got rid of him like trash. His message was simple. Hey, Miss Harper, if you're doing what I think you're doing, I want in. That branch isn't just a bank. It's a symbol, and we're tired of symbols working against us. And he was right. This wasn't about a bank anymore. This was about the next time a little black girl walks into a building with big dreams and gets treated like she don't belong. Not on my watch. 3 months. That's how long it took for the tide to turn. 3 months after they tried to humiliate me out of a lobby I had every right to stand in. I walked right back into that same branch. But this time, I didn't come with a folder. I came with ownership. Inside the bank, people were whispering, glancing over their shoulders. Phones were ringing, tension thick in the air. Something was coming, and everyone could feel it. In the conference room, Gerard Wallace, same gray suit, same smug face, was muttering under his breath, annoyed about new investors. They can't just walk in here like they own the place. Then the door opened, and I walked in. He looked up, and for the first time, that little smirk of his disappeared. "Mr. Wallace," I said, calm and clear, "let me formally introduce myself. Aisha Harper, regional partner, and as of this week, co-owner of this branch." He froze, face drained, hands twitching. "You can't—" "Oh, I can, and I am." I placed a folder, one of my folders, on the table. "Effective immediately, your contract is terminated. All complaints you ignored have been submitted to corporate HR and oversight committees." He stammered, tried to object, but I'd already turned away. He wasn't the center of the story anymore, not today. Later that day, I gathered the staff, told them what we were here to do. We're not just changing signs on the door, we're changing what happens behind it. I brought Malik back, now a senior advisor, rehired others pushed out for daring to speak truth. We rolled out bias training, hired community liaisons, turned that cold bank floor into a place that looked like the people it served. Outside, cameras rolled. Gerard walked out the front, hand over his face, and I stood where he once stood, but not to gloat, to build. I didn't come back for revenge, I said to the reporters. I came to make sure nobody ever walks in here again and feels like they don't belong. The camera zoomed in, and in that moment, in my face, was everything. The pain, the power, the purpose, and the start of something bigger than me.